Oh, absolutely. In fact, I wrote about this a couple of years ago. If they ever did get any evidence, which, by the way, if they're getting all this information, they really have no ability to use it because it's just this huge quantity of information. But if you got something you wanted to use, you wouldn't be able to charge the person.
Exactly.
And so then what would you do? So that leads to another one of the president's crimes, which is holding people illegally, indefinitely, without charging them.
Okay, so here are the list of crimes that I have made while I was talking to you, just in these few brief minutes here. We covered a conspiracy to commit fraud in the selling of this war, knowing that they were fixing facts, cherry-picking from the CIA to misrepresent the situation in which the United States found itself in the world. Okay, we know that there's a lock-em-up felony known as caging, and we have evidence that it came from the West Wing of the White House and was erroneously sent to an unauthorized server, and that it was executed, that these people never had their votes counted. We know over 1 million votes that were never counted under this direct mail scheme. We know that the Presidential Records Act was violated in using the RNC servers in the first place, let alone the content of the communications being illegal with the caging. We know that he warrantlessly wiretapped his own citizens and admitted to such publicly, openly, and of his own free will. We know about rendition, extraordinary rendition. We know about habeas corpus going out the window. And now let's talk about torture briefly.
Right. The president has condoned and encouraged the use of torture, both at Guantanamo and in all kinds of prisons overseas. And that, too, is a violation not only of war crime statutes, but ones that are in existence in the United States. In fact, there's a case against the son of Charles Taylor for torture pending in court in Florida right now.
Right.
So, yes. That's
Charles Taylor, brutal dictator in Sierra Leone. Right. Okay, so we've got quite a case here. Why, in your extraordinarily educated legal mind, is Congress either moving glacially, slowly on this, or not at all? I mean, do you see motion towards an impeachment, or do you see...
I do see some movement, actually, and even after all these years as a prosecutor, I'm eternally optimistic for some bizarre reason. But I think that, we now have 14 people who have signed on to the Resolution 333, Senate's resolution regarding Cheney, with the news that more than half the people in the country already want to impeach Cheney and 45% want to impeach Bush.
Yeah, 58% for Cheney and 45% for Bush.
Right. I mean, that should provide some impetus and maybe some spine to some of these Congress people. And I also think a large part of it is just that they've kind of strategized themselves into paralysis, listening to the same consultants they've been listening to all these years.
That's a good point.
Unsuccessfully, and so I think that they are way behind what the people of this country want.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to defend them any longer. I used to, because I talk to them so much, and sometimes you get sucked into that beltway mind trap, and it is a trap. But I will say that, the anthrax scare might have, put the fear into the Senate pretty bad, because they were really sent live anthrax. I mean, that was just disgusting. It was just kind of interesting that it was only sent to Democrats and to the media. It was a fascinating little episode, and nobody's been convicted. But beyond that, I think the founders intended Congress to move slowly, but now we've got an emergency. Now we've got a need for a rocket docket, if you will. And I think the American people are doing exactly the right thing. This is why I'm a sunny optimist, too, by the way. But I think that the phone calls, the emails, everybody says to me, that's really so trite. I mean, can't you think of anything else we could do? And I try to explain to them that because I am invited into the Beltway a lot, I know that emails and phone calls to the Home Office, to the D.C. office, snail mail into the office, that it freaks them out because they realize people woke up.
Exactly. And a lot of people don't even do those things. And when people think about what am I doing, you don't have to do anything really momentous, but just to take the is it worth it to you, whoever is thinking about this, to stop this war and to hold these people accountable, to write a letter, and it is.
Yeah, and I had a caller that was accusing me of dividing the country, and I succinctly pointed out to him that this country was 48-52 divided when this whole administration began, and now it's 71-29. I think we are unifying the country, and I think that one thing that everybody of almost every political stripe agrees with is that no man is above nor below the law, and I think I think America has had this visceral reaction now that it's been made patently clear to them that there are some people that get a pass.
Oh, right, and the commuting of Libby's sentence.
Yeah, the injustice of it.
Right, and people get that. And the thing about the commuting of Libby's sentence, by the way, is that it's really simple to understand as opposed to some of these other things that sound kind of complicated, constitutional issues and that kind of thing. But letting somebody off the hook when a judge, a jury, a grand jury, a prosecutor, all these people have found substantial evidence that they've committed a crime, and he's gone through the whole court process, that hits people right in the gut.
Yeah, I think so. I think that one thing all Americans agree on is that we are a country of laws.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that just made people weep because they felt the injustice of it. So thank you very much. I hope we will talk again soon and sooner and then sooner than that. Because I read you all the time, and I just love you. And so is my girlfriend Gina, by the way, who just is always sending me links to your stuff. Did you see what she wrote today? So you are beloved here.
Well, good for her. Yeah. All right. Well, it's great to talk to you.
You too. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Elizabeth de la Vega, if you want to see the indictment, all you got to do is check out a library or buy the book, U.S. v. Bush. Amazing. 10 till.
The Randi Rhodes Show. More fun than pointing out the size of Ann Coulter's Adam's apple to your friends.
It's a man, baby.
This is Air America Radio.